Same thing.
Look at me, I'm Peter Pan. I'm a little boy forever.
That's perfect.
Whoa.
That's exactly what I needed, and that's how the show's going to start.
Oh, no way. Oh my God. No way. Oh my
No time now. My computer's starting. All right. Well, welcome to the Serial Chillers podcast. I'm Greg. I'm in the driver's seat tonight. Buckle up. As always, I ask, how goes it, Cromulent Jesse?
Yeah. I'm well, man. I'm very well. I'm getting used to being in this seat now. That's the thing.
It's kind of fun sitting over there, huh?
Like I'm in my little corner.
It's.
Oh, where'd I go? Oh.
It's a neat little area to be in because you feel kind of. I always feel like Robin from the Howard Stern Show or Anderson from Loveline, just like not the focus, just the guy. Tonight we have Bobby and Jordan. Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Hey. Hi.
Hey, everybody.
Have you been on the show before?
Never have. First
Never have.
timer.
Well, welcome.
I'm a show virgin. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got this. You've been here enough. You know how it
We'll
works.
be gentle.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, please don't.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Cut them off.
Most of you know how the show works, but let me explain it for anyone that doesn't. Some weeks I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends and tell a story of a conspiracy theory, something true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious. If something isn't clear, be sure to chime in because if you have questions about the questions, make sure to ask questions because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions. Are there any questions?
No, not today. No.
Yeah,
covered everything quite
I
well.
mean, honestly, you did great, man.
That hit the ear just right. So.
Did
I
you,
had questions.
Jesse? Did you notice the changes I made?
I did. I was gonna comment on them after we got all through this. Great job, great tweaks, and you nailed it all. 10 out of 10 would listen again.
10.5 with Rice.
Golf clap.
Excellent. Well, then, welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. All right, so today we're talking about. It was originally going to be about just the Men in Black.
Oh,
and like the
why?
The Will Smith Men in Black?
Why?
See, we'll talk about that at the end a little bit. So again, this was originally going to be about just the Men in Black, but to talk about them, there has to be some other stuff discussed first. And so there's going to be it turned into the organizations that cover up alien contact and stuff like that. So question number 1.
Oh shit, forgot.
In what year does the foundation of our story take place?
Can I get a retry? Can I get a redo on that? What?
In what year does the foundation of our story take place? And all of this kind of sets off in the same year. All these different factions start becoming a thing, and the ball really starts rolling in 1 year. And we're talking about alien cover-ups. So,
Greg is his own person, Bobby.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
And,
I like because he did it the other time.
what?
You did the high pitch what?
I can't. In what year?
There you go. See? Come on.
on.
Stop playing yourself.
Come on.
Stop playing yourself. You got that. That was tight.
That's about as tight as it gets. So yeah, in what year does the foundation of our story take place? 250 points to the closest, 500 if you nail it.
Stoiga.
I'm feeling good tonight.
All right, so you guys got your answers?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let's let the pop that cherry.
You know what?
Yeah, Bobby, you were talking about being the victor. Let's see. You go
Oh,
first.
sheesh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling
This is
good.
about a style.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Let's see what you got.
1958.
1958.
I went way back. 1947.
1947 is 500 points for Jordan.
Whoa.
Nailed it. 1947, the year of our Lord.
Beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck is a real thing on this show. It's a real thing on this show. The answer
Sorry,
is
Bobby.
1947.
That used to be you.
Now that we have the first question out of the way, we'll do some guest introductions. Jordan, since you nailed the question, go ahead. You can go ahead and kick it off. Go first.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jordan. I thank you for having me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. This is actually probably my first podcast. I think I've done a couple interviews and things like that. I have a company that do kids parties and things. So I've done interviews, but nothing like a podcast per se. So super excited to be here. I'm all into things paranormal. I have an obsession with Bigfoot.
Nice.
I have a cast hanging on my wall that's signed by Bob Gimlin. So,
yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You are going to enjoy this episode.
Bring it on. Very excited.
Bobby.
Yeah, you guys.
Welcome back.
Hey, man, what's up, man?
Hey.
I'm just chilling.
What's up? This is Hardcore B3R. It's your boy Bobby Gusties Roberts.
Why do they call you hardcore, Bobby?
That's because that's my Twitch
That's
name.
that's for the stuff on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And only otters.
Got your own website now?
Dude, it's me just like this and water naked. Just
How much is it per
rocks
month?
and keeping them in your
You're just
armpits?
breaking clams
yeah,
open
exactly.
with rocks.
Yeah.
In your bathtub?
I am Hardcore B3R, guys. What's up? I'm actually gonna take this time to not plug anything that I have, even though I do have some stuff I'll plug at the end. But I just want to say,
You have to win now. Now you have to win to plug.
Okay, I got you. Okay, hell yeah, because it's really. I'm really gonna win now, because I got some new shit out. But I want to take this time to say, I love bringing new people onto the show. I love the show a lot. So every time is a freaking blast. I love that I brought Jordan this time too. He's epic, and he didn't really plug himself I feel like to his full extent. So I come from a company that he made himself that allows me to kind of like fulfill my childhood every freaking time I go out and work. So it's a Heroes for Hire or an
Bobby
any
is
other character.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
I live like Spider-Man every weekend almost, and it's a freaking blessing, and it's awesome. And
Thanks, man.
that's why I know it's gonna have a lot of fun. And he's right. We talk about stuff all the time in the car, and I always bring you guys up.
So I got to ask, since you guys know each other, you're friends and everything, are there any stakes for the game? Because the prize, I forgot to mention, the prize tonight is nothing.
Yeah.
You'll walk out of here with a one whole nothing all to yourself if you win.
And generally, when
So do I
couples
have to
come
split it
on,
up, or is it just, can I keep the whole
It's your nothing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do with it whatever you'd like
perfect.
to do.
I don't have to claim it.
when couples come on, I ask them, "Yo, are you guys gonna get divorced tonight?" One or the other.
there was
Are we going to get divorced after this, Bobby?
Nah, man, love too strong.
Are there any stakes though? Like,
Okay, we can make some. How about this?
I love gambling, so I will like I
You beat
encourage
You guys,
Hey,
you guys take a lot of road trips together, right? Like, who's buying snacks on the next road
There you
trip?
go.
Okay.
Listen, I always buy snacks, huh, Bobby? You know that. I take care of that.
So the references for today's episode used a lot of the Wikipedia. I also used Bibliotheca Pleiades. I love
That's
that
how
website.
you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I had to go to the Bibliotheca Pleiades. If you if you like conspiracy theories, go to that website, bibliotecapleiades.com.
You have to write that down for me.
Yeah, it's in Spanish,
Okay.
but it searches in English and everything. So you just click on Buscador, and it has a little magnifying glass next to it, and you type in what you're looking for, and you got a lot of really and it's like very specific. It'll search within that site.
Well, that's nice.
And so it's very cool. There's a lot of really cool
Is it like an
information.
actual site that's not a U.S. site? Is it like a?
Yeah.
That's why they can do a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
and they have a lot of it's kind of crowdsourced.
Oh, cool.
So it's like Wikipedia where it gets self-corrected a lot. If it starts to get off, like somebody and it's like, no, we got to keep things straight.
Keep your mind.
There's also a lot of there's garbage everywhere, but there's a lot of good stuff on there. There's a lot of documentaries I watched on YouTube, some other various podcasts. I just have the internet in quotes here because sometimes I don't like these websites aren't trustworthy.
Yeah.
But I mention that when they're not. And then, just various sundry documentaries. Today, again, we're going to discuss alien and UFO cover-ups, kind of. Question number 2. There's an organization above all others in the government that's taken the reins of alien information. Who? Who is the organization? Is it A, the Bilderberg Group, B, the Trilateral Commission, C, Majestic 12, or D, the Council of 300?
This is alien information.
Can you
That's
give me
Council
one
of
more
300.
time a repeat of the?
Absolutely. Is it A, the Bilderberg Group, B, the Trilateral Commission, C, Majestic 12, or D, the Council of 300? These are all real things, too, so you're not going to catch me slipping there.
Catch me outside.
How about that?
About
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
All right, let's see what you got.
Also a very timely reference.
I did it last time.
Did I? Did you?
No, I guess you did, huh?
Yeah.
I went C. I wasn't sure at all. So
Okay.
I thought
Majestic 12.
Bilderberg seemed too easy, but I don't know.
You never know.
I'm gonna go with B because I feel like it might be like a group of
The Trilateral Commission.
Like I don't know why. And this may be completely off realm, but I thought like Russia, China, USA. I don't know.
Okay.
You know.
It's a sore subject.
The answer is C. Majestic 12.
Fuck. I'm losing right now.
Yeah,
Guys.
another 250 points to
Son
Jordan.
of a bitch.
Look at this. I even wrote something that was wrong, but
Oh, you tried to stab?
well, when I didn't know there was a multiple question. That's why I'm like, oh, what is it?
Some of these are multiple
A-tip?
choice. Some of these are going to be closest to. I'm not just going to make you pull stuff out of thin air. If it's going to be something like that, I'll give you multiple choice.
Sweet.
Thanks, Uncle Greg.
Do what I can.
Thanks, Uncle Jesus.
Yeah, Uncle Greg's for the kids.
Thanks, Uncle Greg.
So Majestic 12, a top secret organization, Majestic 12, was established by order of President Harry S. Truman in 1947. Operation Majestic 12 was created to take charge of the technological, sociological, and other aspects of the crashed UFOs and the small alien occupants, dead or alive, that were recovered. In later years, this operation evolved into and became known as MAGI, or M-A-J-I, the Majority Agency for Joint Intelligence. MAGI is the most secret of all intelligence groups and outranks all other intelligence agencies, including the National Security Agency and the CIA. MAGI is responsible directly and only to the President of the United States, according to Bibliotheca Pleiades.
Aren't Magi's from the Bible?
It's a.
I think that's a name for a.
I think they do play on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a secret society type thing.
Sure.
They love that shit, and they like to associate themselves with stuff like that. You look at Skull and Bones Society, that's
Right.
the secret society. The Freemasons.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, you've never heard of Skull and Bones?
No.
George, the Bush family is real big into the Skull and Bones
Wasn't that a
Society.
movie?
Sounds
that
like a
Ryan
fucking,
Felipe?
motorcycle gang. Like,
No, Skull and Bones is a secret society at Yale. And
at Yale.
yeah, and it's pretty
like
much for
metal
the
as
it's
fuck
for the
over
top
there.
of the top, and they have some really over the top rules. Like you're not allowed to talk about Skull and Bones. So if somebody were to ask you, "Are you in Skull and Bones?" you have to get up and walk out of the room without saying anything. So
But isn't that tell?
that's those, but you can't talk about it. So you can't answer. You can't talk about it.
I ain't trying to die.
So
Can't you lie?
there was no, you're not
They're
allowed to talk.
they're
And
watching
the
you,
whole
bro.
purpose of it is
You're
to
locked down after that.
the whole purpose of it is to
Makes sense.
help each other grow throughout the business world.
First rule of
And-
Skull and Bones Society:
Don't talk about
Skull
They
and Bones
watch
Society.
Fight Club. That
Except
Second
for it
rule of Skull and
existed
Bones
for
Society.
150 years before Fight Club was.
that's
Dude,
where Fight Club.
some of the members, and it has like some of the
They
most
ripped it
famous
off.
people in like what's the guy that invented football, like American football? Walter.
Tom Brady.
I just imagine a guy with a leather
Not the
hat.
guy that perfected it.
I got basketball in my head. Basically, football's not a.
Anyway, the guy that invented like American
James
football.
Naismith, if you want basketball.
I don't, and now that's all I can think of. But yeah, the guy who invented American football, the like all the Bushes.
American hand egg.
There was so when George Bush ran against John Kerry for president in the early 2000s, John Kerry and George Bush were both Skull and Bones members at the same time, and so somebody asked John Kerry about it, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about that, because it was like in a sit down interview, like on 60 Minutes type thing, and they asked him about it, and he's like, I'm not going to talk about that. And they said, well, you can just answer a couple questions. He says, I'm not going to talk about that. I've already said I'm not going to talk about that. And like got all defensive. Wow. Changed the whole tone of the interview.
But he didn't get up and walk out?
No, he didn't get up and walk out because they had him cornered.
Fired.
Where are you going to go? I think they make concessions nowadays.
He's not a
when
real.
you're trying to be president.
He's not a real boner.
Right? Yeah. Not a real skull boner.
He's not a real skull boner.
So MJ-12 was basically assembled to decide how to treat any alien life forms and how to handle contact and disseminate information. They're made up of 12 of the elite in the country. Famous names and bloodlines have been a part of Magi, and here's a list.
What?
Yeah, I've got the name.
We know this stuff.
You're gonna name names right here. This is an exclusive serial.
So there's the existence of Majestic 12 is predicated on the authenticity of a set of documents. So this guy got like super cloak and dagger. This guy had an envelope pushed through his mail slot. That's not a euphemism. Like somebody put an envelope through his mail slot and at night, and he like opened it and saw that it was just a roll of undeveloped film. Took it to somebody he knew who had a dark room, got it developed, and they were photographs. It was 8 photographs of an 8-page document discussing Majestic 12 and outlining what they do. There's a lot of people who say that these
Bobby's
are bogus.
Scared.
Are they gonna come after us since we know this shit?
There's a lot of people who say that these are bogus. I've looked at them; they don't look bogus, but I'm not a professional, so what the fuck do I know? But and I'll get into more of it later. So the first guy on the list is Lloyd Berkner. He's a physicist and engineer. He helped create the measuring device for height and electron density that was integral in the creation of shortwave radio, and he also contributed directly to the creation of shortwave radio.
Damn.
There was a guy named Detlef Bronk. He was a scientist, educator, and administrator. He was question number 3.
Oh shit.
He was credited with legitimizing what field of science? Is it A, astrophysics, B, biophysics, C, string theory, or D, aeronautics? Astrophysics, biophysics, string theory, or aeronautics? Got your answers?
Yep.
Let's see them.
I'm gonna go D, dude.
Aeronautics,
I went B.
biophysics. Another one, yeah. Biophysics is the answer.
Bro, what the fuck?
When you got it,
Beat up,
you got it.
Yeah, he called it when he called it after he nailed the first question. He said,
Bobby, I'll still love
beginner's
you after
luck
this.
and-
You'll just owe me 100 push-ups.
Dude,
Ooh.
wow, we didn't set that.
Oh, we should have. I thought about it. But
I was gonna give you like Eddie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I maybe wouldn't take that bet down 3-0.
I'm not taking the bet.
come on, man. I'll let you win.
So yes, he was created with legitimizing biophysics as a discipline. He was also the president of Johns Hopkins University from 1949 to 1953. He was the president of Rockefeller University from 1953 to 1968, and he was the president of the National Academy of Sciences from 1950 to 1962. So, yeah, these guys are like not to be fucked with. These are legit people in their fields. The next one is Vannevar Bush. No obvious relationship to the Bush political catastrophe that is.
Not a porn star.
Vannevar Bush.
Vannevar Bush. Biggest Bush around.
He's not like obviously related. I looked into it a little bit. There's nothing in his family tree that links to the other Bush family tree. Okay. But I still have some thoughts. And he was an inventor, engineer, science administrator, head of the Office of Scientific Research and Development. He was involved in the Manhattan Project. Do you know what the Manhattan Project is? Are you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm, the atomic bomb.
Yeah, it was the creation of the first atomic bomb.
Oh shit!
There's a new movie coming out. Looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're getting ready to do something, and I guarantee you, Vannevar Bush is going to be somebody in it. But what I was saying earlier when I said I have some thoughts on him not being related to the political Bushes, is that if he knows how to keep like the Manhattan Project secret and things like that, and Majestic 12, aliens and shit like that, I feel like he could probably keep his ties to a political regime that has a lot of power and pull secret as well.
Yeah.
Fake his lineage.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
But Vannevar Bush's list of credits literally goes on forever. This guy was smart as hell and just a fucking scientific genius.
It's like one of those like when villains come around, they steal that guy because he's so fucking good.
Kind of like if there was going to be somebody to meet aliens, I would not mind if it was Vannevar Bush.
Yeah.
Not Will Smith.
He punched one.
Yeah, he's always had that slap. You saw him at the alien. Huh? Welcome to Earth.
Independence Day. Yeah.
Honestly, he might just be so smooth. He'd be like, you know what? Yeah, we like you guys. Yeah, okay.
He did help give birth to one too. So.
Yeah.
Those aliens.
James Forrestal, he was the last cabinet level U.S. Secretary of the Navy, but he was also the first U.S. Secretary of Defense. There was Gordon Gray. He was an attorney and a government official during the administrations of Truman and Eisenhower, associated with defense and national security, end quote. That sounds like a gross generalization of what this guy did. You know what I mean? Like saying that he was an attorney and he was a government official associated with defense and national security. It feels like they're really glazing over something.
Like there's something classified that we're not supposed to know about.
Right.
Way deeper.
Anybody who just says, I work for the government.
Yeah, what do you
Hey,
do?
get the fuck out of my house, man.
Government contractor.
Like what? What do? You're a fucking janitor? What? Come on.
Yes, I Work for the government.
The business office.
There's been a black car at my house ever since you came over, and I'm fucking done with it, bro.
So, I honestly, because he was an attorney, I believe that he was there to make sure anything that they did as an organization, as Majestic 12, could be argued to be constitutional in the name of national security, in the name of national defense, or whatever it could. He was the one who was like, when they're like, okay, we want to cut somebody in half and then cauterize everything and see if they live as two separate people. He's like, okay, that's a war crime, but if we can do this instead. And you know what I mean? Like, he's the one who's kind of like maybe making concessions and suggestions to get them to figure something else out. There was Roscoe Hillencoder, naval officer, third director of the
names in this episode.
This is another porn star.
These are just banger names, I
Hill
swear.
and Coder.
Like, I thought
Coder and what?
Vannevar was not going to be topped, and he gave me Roscoe Hillencoder.
Roscoe H. Hillencoder.
Whoa.
He was a
Roscoe
naval,
Hillencoder.
naval officer, third director of the CIA, and a member of the Board of Governors for the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, or NICAP.
Yeah, it's usually a whiskey neat, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
I mix it up with my nightcap.
I love a good nightcap. There was Jerome Clark Hunsaker, a naval officer and aeronautical engineer,
How are the names so cool?
because they're all made up.
They talk like this, see?
Yeah, we
Jerome
now,
Hunsaker,
we now
see?
return you to high pants, fast talkers.
Talk about aliens. You like aliens?
You want to get jammed up with that?
Let's get all jacked up on aliens.
Donald H. Menzel, the first U.S. theoretical astronomer and astrophysicist. He discovered the properties of the solar chromosphere, the chemistry of stars, and the atmosphere of Mars.
Shit.
Adina Menzel. Frozen.
Oh, okay. I've
I'm
never
just joking.
seen
I
it,
have
so
no-
I don't know. Robert M. Montague, Lieutenant General in the U.S. Army, commander of Fort Bliss, commander of the Sandia Missile Base in New Mexico, and head of the U.S. Caribbean Command.
Oh, shit. So he's working
Yeah.
the sea.
The Caribbean Command.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then Sydney
The fuck
Sowers.
is that?
I don't know, man. That's what AT.
It's where Bikini Atoll is. I don't know if that's true or not, but that sounds right.
Oh, well,
doesn't
you
it?
had me, man.
Yeah, say it with authority. People will believe you. Sydney Sowers was an executive with General American Life Insurance Company from 1933 to 1973, which I think is weird because everything else I'm going to list took place during that time. He became an assistant director of the Office of Naval Intelligence.
So what you're saying is he could be responsible for some of this.
Well, what I'm saying is he worked for
my
he was an executive with a life insurance company during the Great Depression.
Did people die?
Do you think? But
Depressed.
for 40 years, he worked as an executive for this life insurance company. But during that time, he was also in the military and did all this other stuff. And then, like, when he would go back and be an
Damn.
executive in his spare time.
You got us like 18
How
hours
does he have
through.
spare time?
That's what I'm
Right.
saying, bro.
So he became an
I don't
assistant.
even really do shit, and I don't have time.
There were 28 hours in a day back then, son.
Have you ever seen Empire Records?
Yeah.
Yes.
With Liv, when Renee Zellweger picks up Liv Tyler, and she's like, "How do you have time to bake cupcakes?" My dad says there's 24 usable hours in every day, and they find out later she was on speed.
Who the hell is Renee Zellweger?
So Sydney Sowers was. He also became an assistant director of the Office of Naval Intelligence, Office of the Chief of Naval Operations and Navy Department. He was the deputy chief of naval intelligence with the rank of rear admiral. That's what we were talking about, and that's where I have no way, Bart. If I lean over, I leave myself open to wedgies, wet willies, and even the dreaded rear admiral.
A tin hut.
Question number 4. He was also a director of the CIA.
Oh, damn.
Which director was he? Was he the first director, the second director, the fourth director, or the fifth director of the CIA? We already talked about the third director. First, second, fourth, or fifth?
Come on, give me some points, mama.
Got your answer?
Yeah, let's let him go first, though.
All right, what do
We're
you got?
going with the second.
Second director of the CIA.
I went second, too.
Second, you would both be wrong.
Fuck me, man.
He was the first director of the CIA.
How the hell? I thought maybe that would be too much, you know what I'm saying? But not for this man.
This motherfucker was a go-getter, Bobby.
Hot
this
damn.
guy was a go.
I'm not even
Okay.
done with his
Goat
list
getter.
of credits. He was also the
Oh,
executive
shit.
secretary for the National Security Council and special consultant for the president on for the military of foreign affairs. Yeah.
This
boring.
motherfucker, no, he,
Really?
Wait, you said bio engine? Wait, what was the thing he was? He was
People
good
just
at
worked
first?
harder back
no,
then,
no, no,
I
no.
think.
He that was another
know?
guy.
Oh,
way
okay, I was
back.
like, maybe he cloned himself. Shit.
right, just doing too much.
No, people back then just worked harder, Bobby.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, that's Sidney Sowers. That guy's crazy. Nathan F. Twinning, which is another great name.
Keep them coming, man.
I've got one more name after this, and it's
Sound like Garbage Pail Kids.
It ends on a good one as well. Nathan F. Twinning was a United States Air Force general, and he was a Mustang officer, which means he enlisted at the lowest starting spot possible. And by the time he retired, he was the highest. He was a 4-star full bird colonel, or I'm sorry, 4-star general. 4-star general.
ounce
Put
of
some
his
respect
drive.
on his name, Greg.
Yeah, let me just fuck up his rank.
Edit that part out.
Yeah. He was also the United States Air Force Chief of Staff and the 3rd chairman for the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Just rolls joints all day? Fuck yeah, I do that shit all day.
And whoops, what did I do here?
Bro, like sometimes I'll look at my resume and be like, retail manager, worked at a golf course. I'm like, here's shit like this. I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he went to college when he was like 13, probably though, and
I would say he probably enlisted in the military.
he did all his service
College
by
is
18.
also just like $9.
Yeah.
Trade you a
Bought
gallon
his
of milk.
first
And
hand on
he
a
still
handshake.
decided to join the Air Force for it.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when did you just say, I'm cool, like, I became the first director of the CIA, right?
No, that's a previous guy.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm wondering if it's all one dude.
No. This is 12 people. This is the list of people and all their
that's why I'm
accolades.
losing.
Yeah. Here's the last guy, though.
Don't do drugs, kid.
Here's the last guy, and it like I said, it ends on a good name. Hoyt Vandenberg is the
Air
last
Force
guy.
Base.
Yeah, they did name an Air Force base after him. He was the 2nd Chief of Staff for the Air Force, a decorated soldier, airman, and the 2nd Director of the CIA. You can see these guys are important dudes. They're who make the decisions. These guys are responsible for a large amount of disinformation that's disseminated.
And 3 of the 12 of them were directors of the CIA.
3 of the 12 of them were the first 3 directors of
12?
the CIA.
Disciples much?
What do you mean?
12, bro.
Well, yeah, that again, we talked like when he said Magi was in the Bible, like that. They use a lot of imagery like that, the Illuminati, the Freemasons.
Because it freaks people out,
but
man.
but you're doing fucked up shit with it.
Well, yeah.
Are they?
Because it freaks people out, man. Have you read the Bible, dude? There's some fucked up stuff in there.
Old Testament,
But-
yes. Yeah.
Are these
These
guys
systems will-
really doing fucked up shit though? Because what they're doing is they're keeping the general public from finding out about aliens. Now,
Honestly,
Before
I do
you-
not hate
I'm about to
anything-
Google fucked up stuff in the New Testament. I bet you there's some shit in there.
go Old Testament.
And that's what he said was, I know the Old Testament's
But
wild.
these guys are protecting the public from finding out about this stuff. Now, I'm in the interest of tell everybody. Let everybody know
Yeah.
and make their own decision.
Yep.
But
Full disclosure.
yeah, exactly. But
Let's do it.
think about some people that you know who can't handle
yeah.
little hiccups in
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Fuck them.
100%.
I
They riot.
deal with it. But for some people, this will shatter entire world.
Those are the kind of people that won't like what they heard last week,
If-
that there's a possible mothership in the solar system.
Exactly.
That was awesome.
And it's supposed to be, it's allegedly the Anunnaki coming back.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. What are the?
Allegedly.
Oh, wait. Oh, fuck.
Bobby, you'll have to listen
Avi
to that
Loeb.
episode. It comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So they,
Or ask us on break.
but these guys are covering it up. If you could think of one person that you know where their whole world would crumble if they found out aliens are true, think about what it'll do to religion.
Yeah.
And think about what that'll do to cash flow around the world and economies and all that stuff. So finding this stuff out, that like I get the reason why they're like, here's a little taste, here's a little taste, here's a little taste. No, that's too much. We're taking it all back. But at the same time, I'm of the mindset of fuck them,
Yeah.
burn it all,
And
tell everybody everything.
I think too that they had to get here some way. So how they got here is going to be the real issue, whether it's free energy or some kind of thing that's going to put these other fossil fuel things out of business. I think that's where some of the conspiracy lies as far as why they're trying to keep it.
Well,
'cause
and
their
that's-
engine propulsion or how they got here is
That's
gonna,
part of
they
what
wanna
it
keep
is
secret.
that the reason that we've kept them so secret. Like, have you heard of Valiant Thor?
Yes.
His whole deal was denuclearize, and the U.S. was like, no, because if we give them up, what's to stop Russia from nuking us?
Right.
He's like, come on, bros, proliferate.
Yeah, like
Do it.
yeah, you're this giant Eastern European guy, and you want us to get rid of our nukes?
Come on,
Well, thank
proliferation is the only way.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So
You won't, bro.
these guys, this Majestic 12, these guys are generally kind of represented like. Think of the cigarette smoking man in the X-Files and like his cronies, like all the guys
Bobby,
that were
think
in
of
that,
it.
all the guys that were in that smoky office, like making the decisions and pulling the strings.
Weird shit when I come here, man.
There's fierce and there's fierce debate as to whether or not these guys exist. Like I said, I looked at the documents that they reference that outlines their plans, and I can say with absolutely no idea what I'm talking about that they look real.
Yeah.
But the fuck do I know?
Well, Greg, look in the camera and give him the disclaimer.
If you're using this show for research, don't.
There you go. All right, we said it, and we're good.
He said it.
People like Carl Sagan, who's great mind, super smart guy, real thinker of our generation. He thinks the whole thing's a hoax because of, quote, lexicographic inconsistencies. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a lexicographic means. I tried to Google it and I couldn't spell it right. The suggestions weren't getting me there. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. But he said because of lexicographic inconsistencies, these documents are false. But he also thinks the Roswell crash didn't happen. And this is one of those, like, you can't take angels without demons. You don't get to have angels unless you believe in demons too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't think the Roswell crash happened, and logically there would be no task force needed to recover things from the Roswell crash if the Roswell crash never happened.
Yeah.
It just takes one to be real. That's the
I
way I
mean-
look at it. It takes one out of the thousands of reports of aliens,
Hundreds of
Bigfoots,
thousands.
all this. It just takes one to be real. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and so at the end of the Roswell episode, we talked about the Atomic Energy Commission being involved in the Roswell crash and being there recovering the bodies and stuff. And one of the guys was a whistleblower, said it was a hoax. He said it was a Russian drone with mutilated children inside. Is that what Majestic did? Is that, you know what I mean? Like,
Shit. I remember I was on that episode when we talked about that.
the atomic energy source was unnamed, but could it have been one of the names on that on that list of 12? Could it have been one of the engineers or the general?
It's all hearsay. It's all hearsay.
I mean, it is. That's just speculation on my part.
But you know what? Hey, CIA, aliens, whoever. I'm not tripping off you guys. We're cool. So
I'm
don't
tripping
touch
off
me.
you guys.
You
Get
know?
fucked, CIA.
Oh shit!
You know,
I'm
I
not
also
affiliated,
have you
dude.
heard the abduction theory that that the abductions are also based on that they're government created in order to create the fear of aliens, giving them the excuse to go to war when they need to, hosting a false alien invasion, so to speak.
Oh, a War of the Worlds, a
Yeah.
battle for Los Angeles, if you will.
Something like that.
Didn't Eisenhower tell him, yo, you can abduct some, you just got to let us know, man.
It's called the Granada Treaty. He said you could take them, and in exchange, you give us technology. So we got like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, wireless charging, and they got to abduct people for funsies.
And put stuff in their butts and stuff.
And then I have a whole theory on that too, but they stopped abducting people and telling us. They just kept abducting people. They just stopped telling us.
Thereby
and-
breaking the Granada Treaty.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, you can't do that. And they're like, you think you matter?
Yep.
And like,
We gave you Bluetooth, and they're like, I know, we can't stop.
We gave you
Yeah.
Travis Walton.
they're like, are you gonna do anything about it? And we're like, what can we do, really?
Yeah,
Just
before you
deal with it. So there was also a project called Project Sign. Project Sign was created in response to the flying saucer sightings during the summer of 1947.
the movie, right?
This is not Signs, but yes, Sign.
Yeah, it's a great.
Question number 5. How long did Project Sign investigate UFO sightings? In months.
Okay.
It was, I'll tell you this, it was less than a year.
Okay.
How long did it last? In months.
Okay.
250 to the closest, 500 if you nail it. What's the score looking like over there?
I got donuts. I got donuts. I got fucking
1,000
glazed
to
donuts
nothing.
over there.
That's right.
Son of a bitch.
Jordan holding it down in his debut
just gotta-
appearance.
I got
Bobby
a
the veteran
friend
looking
line.
to go 500 if he can't do some catching up. 500 on the season. I can't
500 on
speak
the
for
season.
anything prior to this.
Got your answers?
Yep.
All right, let's see. What do you got?
8 months.
8 months.
6.
6 months. Ooh. So the answer is 7 months.
Oh.
Now,
shit.
when we split like that and it's equal, we go Price is Right rules. So it's closest without going
Where's the
over.
money wheel?
Yeah. So, Jordan, you are going to get the points on
What
that.
the?
Da-da-da-da.
Like I said, when it's split equal, it's Price is Right rules.
That's
Those
like
are-
only like the second or third time that's literally ever happened.
Yeah, that's been the rule since day one, but
Yeah.
it never happens. So.
I'm gonna die. in a
Tell him
minute
what
of
he's
these fucking
won.
Donuts.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. A whole one.
Should have said 7, Bobby.
Should have.
Should have.
Should have.
So the
You
goal
got
was
that right.
I would have got that right.
the goal was to investigate the sightings, and they did so for 7 months. Project Sign determined that it was best explained by ETH, or extraterrestrial hypothesis. Okay. And this angered some high-ranking Pentagon officials. Like, literally 10 of the 12 names that I read to you could have been in the Pentagon, could be these high-ranking officials. So if those guys are trying to keep everything quiet, and Project Sign's like, yo, it can't be anything other than aliens, they're gonna butt heads. And this is still at the time when they were calling them Foo Fighters, like the
Ladies and
band.
gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Cowbell.
Project Sign eventually became Project Grudge, and subsequently became Project Grudge 2.
And then after that became Project Runway when Tim Gunn joined the family.
Okay.
Really great show if you want to check out if you like
And
fashion.
was it Heidi? Or
Before
is it
becoming
Gwyneth Paltrow?
question number 6.
Oh shit! It's not
What-
Project Runway. I promise.
What was the next iteration of the government's UFO investigation project called? Was it Project Grudge 3, Project Sign 2.0, Project Blue Book, or Project Blue Beam?
You know, they really should have stopped after Grudge 2. Threequels really are just dead these
You know,
days.
the,
You know,
the first one really
Threequels.
scared me.
Is that what they're called? You
That's what I call them.
guys got your answers?
Yep.
All right, what do you got?
Blue Book.
Blue Book,
I went Blue Beam.
Blue Beam. The answer is Project Blue Book.
Dude, what the fuck is going on today, man? What the?
Come on, Bobby. Just let it out, dude. We're here. We're friends.
Bobby, I will say, and I don't know what the math is looking like because I'm not. Greg's got the outline.
Yeah.
You might.
That was
might be one of the earliest mathematically eliminated.
Don't say
people.
that.
that was question number 6.
Okay, all right. So you got time. It's just
You got half an episode.
also you need Jordan to start sucking. That's the problem. You
Dude,
know what
don't
I'm
suck.
saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say you've
Depending on how much for.
I think you've missed one question so far.
Dude, what
And
the
so
nutcracker,
that-
bro?
yeah, you're
So
you're
how-
5 for 6 out
plug
of the
it.
gate.
Is that pretty good on a?
I mean, that's
Dude,
better
it's
than
insane.
better than most.
Reaching 2,000 points, I would say, puts you in the top 10% of scorers in general.
and
Booyah.
you're like 3 questions away from that.
Let's do this.
So
I look like a shooby right now.
I was gonna say nobody's come
Or
on. And,
Bobby put together one of the greatest comebacks.
comeback
that serial
king.
shows
I
have
mean,
ever seen.
Pick your crown up, king.
Bobby, I don't know if you
Would
saw.
love to see
I don't
it.
know if you saw a few weeks ago. We had an artistic challenge for the first time. to end the
Dude,
show.
I did not get to see the ending of that. No.
Okay, that's the Bree and Sam episode.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna watch.
Yep.
yeah, artistic challenge. Blue Book was a scientific disinformation campaign to discredit and cover up UFO sightings and alien encounters. Their stated goal was to assess the UFO threat to national security and scientifically analyze the data scientifically. They gave.
Now let me ask you this.
Was it scientific?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
good.
J. Allen Hynek was the scientist running this show, and there's a show was it on Discovery or something like that called Project Blue Book, and it's got like 3 or 4 seasons or something, at least 2, and
Have you seen this?
it's a good show.
That's. He knows too much about this shit.
I mean,
It's not my fault, man. You brought me on, man. I'm just an
Yeah.
innocent bystander here.
it's a good show.
And
They-
I will say that Greg changed the subject like last night because he had, like he was saying, he had something different.
I'll get you that. I'll
initially.
get you that 20 later, man. I
And then,
appreciate that.
and then last night he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do something like
Conspiracy.
deeper," and that's
yeah,
what he told me.
I was gonna do sports
Sci-fi.
conspiracies.
It's a sci-fi show.
It's a
by the way.
sci-fi show. I was gonna do sports conspiracies. Again, their stated goal was to assess the UFO threat to national security and scientifically analyze the data scientifically.
Someone's got to keep it on track.
They gave public reports and testimonies, but some of
back.
their work still remains classified. This project ranged from 1952 to 1969, and
Damn.
the headquarters for the project was Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Question number 7. What else went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in 1947? Was it A, part of the Roswell wreckage, B, the Philadelphia experiment, C, astral projection or astral projectors, or D, nothing? Trick question, you bitch.
Damn it. Damn it. It's a great question.
You're feeling confident after then, weren't you, Bobby?
Yeah,
You're like, I think I know which one this is. And
Is it a trick question, or did I put that in there because I couldn't think of any more like false answers?
Damn, but that's...
Who knows? Who knows?
I need to trust
in the
everything I know
cards.
about Hella Greg.
Go with your gut, man. We say
One
that
more
all
time.
the time.
One more time for me.
Was it the parts from the Roswell wreckage? Why can't I talk, man? Parts from the Roswell wreckage.
It's hard.
The Philadelphia experiment, astral projectors, or nothing? Trick question, you bitch. Got your answers?
I got my
appreciate
answer
what's
now.
happening
I
here.
actually I've been watching some shit.
Did you lean over and look at my screen when I wasn't paying attention?
No, I've been watching some shit where I can tell some stuff by the facial expressions.
Yeah, I got to tell.
I got a little tell.
What is it? Because my dad had a tell, and I
Okay,
want to know
so
if it's the same.
to me, I think I hope it's real, but I think your tell is when you want to sell it more, you look at me, make eye contact to kind of sink it in. But the one you didn't sell, you look straight down.
Okay, we'll see if that works. What do you got for your answer?
I'm going C, bro.
The astral projectors.
Yeah.
I went with A.
Roswell wreckage. Give Jordan the points.
What the fuck?
It was parts
man?
from the Roswell wreckage.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Damn
Sorry,
it,
bro.
you
That's
know-
also just one to know history. If you know when the Roswell accident
I was gonna
was.
wear. I have a
Time
Roswell shirt.
frames?
I was gonna wear it tonight.
That would have been perfect.
I know. I
I
changed
got
it.
the wrong
I should've
motherfucker
just-
to the damn game.
But see,
That would've
that's,
been- if I would have worn my Roswell
Yeah, Bobby,
shirt, that
that's a
would've
lot
given
of
away too
swearing
much.
from you too. I think
that's more swearing than I like to hear from a soldier during peacetime.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys.
Oh, the humanity.
Bobby's crash.
So that was question number 7.
You don't have a tell, I guess.
We're gonna take a quick break.
Sweating here, boys.
Ooh, I feel like
I didn't think it would get this warm so fast. I would have turned it on before we
there's
started.
been a lot of laughing and a lot of really fired up energy, so I can appreciate that. We're gonna take a break. Come back or we'll kill you.
Wait, over here. Yes.
Come back, Kings. Come back, Kings. Come back.
Come witness history.
I'm gonna
again.
watch history when I
But since we're back in the conspiracy mindset,
I'm so blown.
welcome back to the Serial Chillers podcast. If you could see or hear this, we don't have to kill you. Still might, but we don't have to. It's for funsies at this point.
It's no longer a requirement.
Yeah, it's just for sport.
Oh,
Oh,
there's a movie about that. I think.
The most dangerous game. A lion with a shotgun?
Jumanji.
So we were talking about Majestic 12, Project Blue Book.
Whoa. You were talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Majestic
Yeah.
12.
I
dude.
feel like
you
it
were the
was-
one putting names out
Yeah.
there.
I feel like it was a group conversation.
No,
okay.
I'm just listening.
So I was berating you guys with information about these about
we go.
Project Blue
That's
Book,
legal now.
Majestic 12, and Project Sign and the like. Now we're going to talk about the Men in Black, the actual Men in Black.
My cousin Ray Ray.
So
I was going to say, can you drop like 5 seconds of the beat in here when you do it?
I
Galaxy
can probably do something. I'll put it
Defenders.
underneath or something like
Hey,
that.
buddy.
Real quietly too, so that we don't get DMCA'd. But
In my
one
beat.
of my favorite conspiracies to go along with the Men in Black conspiracy is very similar to the Walt Disney conspiracy, the Frozen conspiracy. Are you familiar with that? So Walt Disney, allegedly the reason that Frozen was such a big movie, it's not that it was that good.
Oh, they stole it from the.
It's that they
Dina Menzel. We talked about that earlier. See, Menzel.
it's coming coming full circle.
back. What did I say? That should give me how many points?
Oh, no, fuck that.
Can we
Hey,
give bonus points?
No, fuck the bonus. What the fuck? Bonus? You know how many times I've been on the show? I've never seen a damn bonus point in my damn life.
We're
What
making it
have
up.
you ever asked?
Yeah.
Okay, Greg, sorry. Frozen,
So,
Disney.
the Frozen conspiracy is that the reason that the movie was so big and worldwide and as big as it wasn't because it was such a good movie. It's because it was to cover up the fact that Walt Disney's head was frozen cryogenically, and it's to keep people from searching it. So when you search Walt Disney Frozen, all you're gonna get is movies, site
But
after
why
site.
not just type head into your search bar?
Because you'll probably get pictures of Anna and Elsa and what's the
Their
snowman
skin,
and
right how
like,
to draw
Olaf.
their head.
yeah, and so you'll get
Heads?
caricatures of them instead of
But-
information about Walt Disney's
Greg,
frozen head.
Greg, I will say, as somebody who's seen the movie many times, it's good.
That's-
It's a good movie.
Not my conspiracy. I'm just
I think they
presenting.
have
I
to
mean,
make
personally,
it-
I think
they
we should
make
all
it.
just let it go at this point.
See what he did there?
I do see what he did there.
Came back, sorry.
Shit.
But this is kind of along the same lines as that, where Men in Black, the movie,
What's to cover up?
kind of obfuscates the actual research of Men in Black.
Right.
And the only thing that will further prove my point is if at some point in the future a movie comes out called Real Men in Black, and it's like a sequel to their franchise. Because right now, that's how you find any information on the actual Men in Black. Like, you have to type Real Men in Black into whatever search engine, because unless you're on Bibliotheca Pleiades.
Holy moly!
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Men in Black. The information, like I said, sparse, hard to come by. Not a lot of sightings and dealings with these guys, but it's a very cool, interesting story. You were talking about liking Bigfoot.
Yes.
These guys are often referred to as cryptids,
Yes.
along the same lines as Bigfoot, Mokele, and Bembe. And
As
stuff.
long as you give me a noisy cricket, I'm chilling.
So the Men in Black, they allegedly show up when there's a credible report of a UFO sighting or alien contact has been made. One of their hallmarks is the black suit, hat, coat, shoes, the whole getup.
They're men in
In
black.
Black on black on black.
They're said to almost act like they were told how humans act, but they're not quite human themselves.
I always
So
found that very creepy when you explained it.
it gives an uncanny valley vibe, which
Ooh,
I
hate
think
the Uncanny Valley.
right, because that you know what that is.
No, but I think I can get the picture of it pretty much.
The
like,
uncanny
drawn by
valley
people, like,
is
kinda-
that feeling you get when you see something that's not quite human, but it looks like it's human. That like upset feeling.
Yeah.
Like the eyes drooping because it's like they're wearing a skin mask or something.
Yeah,
you know?
like that's the uncanny valley, and that's a defense response
I think I've been
that
there now.
humans have evolved.
Yeah.
Here you go.
because
Here's
they're-
what happens when you run down
I'm
Uncanny
cool, I'm
Valley.
cool,
Yeah.
I'm cool.
See, they get
No,
Bobby-
it's just
cool.
pictures of faces.
No, I'm cool.
But
Bobby.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
it's a defense response that humans evolved because there was something out there at
Yeah.
some point that looked human,
Yeah.
but wasn't generated.
So
Yeah, they're
also,
not quite human, but
so
Yeah.
also, I recently heard that police sketches are often intentionally
Off-putting.
off-putting and into work into the Uncanny Valley because it makes them stand out more to you.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You'd have to look up a little more than that. I'm just very
Yeah.
vaguely basing it off an article I quickly read, but
yeah, the way these guys act is like almost human. They're a little stiff in their movements. But do you remember the movie Men in Black?
I own all. I own them
They
all.
did make
Yeah.
some really cool comparisons to the actual Men in Black in the fact that what's Tommy Lee Jones? K.
Yeah. Agent
So
K,
when he goes to
Agent J and Agent K.
when he goes when they're at what's her name's house after Edgar wanted sugar and water and they ask for
Edgar, your skin is falling off your
a
balls.
glass of lemonade. And Will Smith drinks it. It tastes gross because there's no sugar in it. Tommy Lee Jones asks for the lemonade. She says we'd like something to drink. Lemonade, please. She brings it out. He never touched it.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know how. I mean, they know how, but they don't drink like we do. They don't.
Holy.
You know what I
shit.
mean? So it's almost like they're wearing people suits.
I was gonna
And-
say you're a dude who wears masks. You drink with a mask on.
No.
Spills in between it.
No,
And you're like, fuck. You gotta come out more.
And
like
you have
poured
milk in
in.
your mask for the rest
the worst
of the day.
thing is burping in the mask.
Well, yeah. Well, even now with we have silicone masks.
Oh, yeah.
The only way to probably eat or drink successfully, you could still do it with straws and stuff like that, but it does become messy if you're trying to use a cup or if you had prosthetics, maybe things like that. But if they're
Or
just
the
wearing,
Peggy Hill method, where she eats like a shark, where she opens her mouth and then pulls her lips back. So
or like cone heads with the Subway sandwich.
Ah. I love the Coneheads. That was such a good movie.
Sometimes I feel I've got to.
So yes, these guys act like they were told how humans act, but aren't quite human themselves. They've been alleged to present cards as credentials. They're all blank white with a little badge in the upper left corner that just says security.
Yes, please do contact me.
They're like, I need to see some credentials here. And that's
the alien operating them inside their giant head is like
this.
shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I am
Security.
12.
Yeah.
I am 12.
Let me
you're
in.
practically there.
This is me. Don't you understand?
You see the resemblance
Oh,
on
I'm
the
sorry,
photo
hold on.
ID.
This is me. Now do you understand?
It's a photo ID. It's practically, you can tell it's me.
Exact replica.
That's going for a lot of money on
Patreon, right?
Patreon right there.
Yep.
These guys don't belong to any specified government agency, though the similarities to MJ-12 are kind of obvious and the connections are there. The black suits, these guys are really MJ-12 are a bunch of, while decorated, pretty nondescript looking guys themselves. Yeah. And a lot of them are just old white guys. So
Just like in that first like testing scene, all those people were like majors and shit, and like top people in like the military and blah blah blah.
yeah, like they're just a bunch of nondescript looking people.
Shit, and they tried to deter us away from it because then they put the second one, they put that K was just a guy, working right.
When he was in
When
the
he was reissued back
post
in the
office?
public, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's
He
that,
wiped his memory.
But they
yeah.
surrounded him with aliens, though.
but that's
They did. Oh, shit.
that's some Hollywood liberties being taken too, because these guys,
Tommy Lee Jones.
yeah, these guys are not human according to lore here. So, June 21st, 1947, a couple of weeks before the Roswell crash, Fred Chrisman and Harold Dahl claimed they saw flying debris and unidentified flying objects above Maury Island in the Puget Sound in Washington. Question number 8.
Shit.
How many UFOs did they report seeing? They said they saw donut-shaped objects. How many?
I'm gonna go with my gut.
We're going to go. This is closest to the answer. Gets
That was
250
John
points.
Belushi, by the way. Sorry, I said Jim Belushi. It's his brother. Let me correct myself. Anyways,
the worst Belushi.
I know. One. I said one.
You
I
said
thought,
one.
thought you were trying to throw us off by saying
That's a fair guess. That's a fair
I'm gonna
guess.
go with 3 because
with
that's my favorite number, and I'm going with my gut.
Put Bobby on the board.
Let's
Yes!
go.
It's 250 points to Bobby.
Oh, I didn't nail
happy
it.
for you,
I didn't
man.
nail it, though.
It was not 3. It was 6.
I don't like that
But
number.
they claimed to their friend Kenneth Arnold that they saw 6 donut-shaped objects flying around above their boat while they were harbor patrolmen on a workboat. Obviously, they weren't harbor patrolmen, but they were. They said one of the ships broke apart. There's a couple of different stories. I've heard that it broke apart. I've heard that it just dropped debris. But one of the craft dropped. They said lava or white metal. So it was like liquid hot metal, molten metal, onto the boat. It killed his dog who was on the boat with him, and it broke his son's arm. The falling debris hit his son and broke his arm. I've also heard that it was another patrolman that was hit, like another person on the boat. But I've heard that it was his son. So, yeah. In another version of the story, Dahl was on a conservation mission. The objects were roughly half a mile overhead. One dropped to approximately 1,500 feet and just rained debris, which broke the arm of his son, who was taking pictures of the craft, and killed the family dog.
it's like Nope.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
guys seen Nope, where
Yeah.
stuff comes raining out of the kills?
there you go.
What if it's just their trash or their shit, like their actual like
Like
feces?
like Dave Matthews Band.
Sorry, bro. Watch Nope.
I think that's the
I'm
second
gonna-
time
nope.
we referenced that
This-
situation.
I mean, he's the one who did it. Shortly after this, like within a day, Harold Dahl had his first contact with the Men in Black. Dahl allegedly met them, or they ended up at a diner where the Men in Black recounted some details about the event that rather spooked Dahl. So he talked to them, and they told him some stuff that he was like, okay,
Oh shit.
like, how do you know that? You got some information that you like I didn't tell anybody. And that kind of spooked him. He allegedly knew stuff that hadn't been mentioned in any of Dahl's retellings. Allegedly. The Man in Black let Dahl know that if he continued to talk about his experience, bad things would happen. Another account mentions them saying something to the effect of, if you want your wife to stay pretty, you're going to stay quiet. So yeah, this Harold Dahl, he's getting hassled by the Men in Black. They threatened him. He kind of was like, okay, I'll stay quiet.
Yeah, you got a girly last name. It's a doll.
These guys
They
are
bullied him into it. All right.
Stop, man.
well. So we'll get into that a little bit. These guys are kind of like that. The next person we're going to talk about is Albert Bender. He served in the Army Air Forces.
Mexico.
He served in the Army Air Forces in World War II.
Oh shit.
Question number 9.
Oh shit.
After World War II, he got a job as a timekeeper at a factory.
A timekeeper?
A timekeeper.
Like he's
What did they make?
with sand? Hold on.
Was it A, knives, B, plane parts, C, scissors, or D, clocks?
Come on, dude.
Ricky.
I'm sorry.
One more time again.
One more time.
What did they make at the factory where he was a timekeeper? Was it A, knives, B, plane parts, C, scissors, or D, clocks?
All right.
Scissor me.
Okay, I know what I got.
What do you got?
I got planes, bro.
You got plane parts?
I did plane parts too.
Plane parts also. The answer was scissors. He was a chief timekeeper for a scissor factory.
I told you guys,
You know what?
scissor me timber.
Because you know what that made me think of? It was like, wait, he's not an actual timekeeper of like a whole business that's about time. He's just a timekeeper in an apartment that keeps the time for us.
Shouldn't he called?
That's
Shouldn't he
what
be
I
called
thought.
a scissorer?
You'd think he? I think they replaced
Can we say that?
they
you say that?
replaced him
can say
with
whatever
a
you
time
want.
clock. Essentially, this guy, he was kind of a weird dude. Albert Bender was kind of a strange man. He made himself a haunted house, like year round. He like turned his house into a haunted house, kind of year round. Like
Year round?
like hung
Year round.
hung
bro.
bats from the like rubber bats from the ceiling. Like
What, he's sleeping in a motherfucking coffin? What is he?
I mean, he was just he was really into sci-fi, but like in a really eccentric way.
What's
Here he
weird
is,
to me is
Albert,
like,
K, Albert K. Bender.
what's weird to me is that motherfucker would be living in something like that. He's just cooking
Does
eggs for
that
breakfast.
make it weirder?
It does make it a lot
It
weirder.
looks a lot more like it's gonna go.
This is like Buddy Holly. I kind of like the idea of living in a haunted house full
That'd
time
be a day.
personally, but I can
But
see why
imagine
others would think it was
imagine
weird.
having people over. You're trying to like have some friends over from work, and they walk in, and everything's just you got rubber spiders and bats hanging from the ceiling, and the walls are painted black, and
Paint it black. That's all I can sing, right?
yeah, you do more than that, we have to pay.
Okay.
And I'll send you the bill.
Shit.
So in 1946 was his first dive into kind of paranormal activities, not the movie, but actual high strangeness. He was obsessed with UFOs. He also suffered from severe OCD, and he was epileptic. One thing that people speculate about epileptic brains is that they're running on a different frequency, so it allows them to be kind of, in a sense, spontaneously telekinetic, where they can, for a moment, for no reason, read your thoughts, send you thoughts, and then
Is that when they're having the seizure? Is that when they say? Is that
kind of is that while they're having a seizure, their brain's running on a different frequency. So yes, he suffered from OCD. He was epileptic. He founded the IFSB, or the International Flying Saucers Bureau, in 1952, and he began publishing a magazine about paranormal happenings. Question number 10: what was the name of his magazine?
Oh, okay. I got this one.
Was it A, A Space for Space, B, Space Review, C, Spaces Everywhere, or D, Alien Times?
I'll tell you which one I like the best.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was the first one.
A Space for Space?
I like it. It's nice. It was like what's between these pages?
Does he look like the guy who would come up with A Space for Space?
Actually, yeah.
Or does he look like the kind of guy who'd come up with the Space Review?
I said which one I like the best.
Yeah.
I didn't say which one I
What
think
was
the
the last two?
A Space for Space, Space Review, Space is Everywhere, and Alien Times.
Space is everywhere. Space for space.
Got your answers?
Hold on.
No? Bobby's still working on it.
I
Trying to
like
read.
spaces everywhere too, because like
Can you-
Because space is everywhere.
Can I ask her? You said I ask questions when I have questions. Can you
Country of origin, please.
Use it a sentence.
Can you tell me the answer?
Can you act out in his voice like each like?
I
answer?
don't know what he sounds like.
Can you just make that one voice? You're like, "Nyeh," you know, like the.
A Space for Space.
Okay.
The Space
I'm
Review.
climbing.
Space is Everywhere, or Alien Times.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I'm gonna go with my gut, dude.
Go with your gut. That's what I say. Go with your gut.
All right, they do sound good though.
All right. What do you guys got?
A
A Space for Space.
space for
I went for C.
Space is Everywhere. No points will be awarded.
Fuck.
His magazine was called Space Review.
Ah, that was my first.
He tried
one,
to
but
tell
then
you
threw
guys.
me out of this-
He tried to tell you.
He did.
He did.
And
Gave us the answer.
honestly,
Bastardo.
the other answer I was trying, one I nixed for Alien Times was called We Have the Space.
So does that mean we could start something called a space for space?
Yeah.
Sick.
Just a website where
It sounds
anybody
like a
can come,
laundering like
they can come and talk
situation.
about space.
I have
Or
a
we'll just make it a
business.
website that's just empty.
Yeah. This was initially a success, his magazine, Space Review, but it was shut down by him unexpectedly in 1953. He began to receive calls, while not directly threatening, that were intimidating. He also began to be followed. He came home to a room that he said smelled like sulfur, like when you blow out a match.
Or like when a demon is around.
Yeah. But
When my grandma used to go to the bathroom, she would light those afterwards.
just crack one off in
No,
there.
seriously, that was her air freshener. Was a lit match. That was the.
I have a friend who got in trouble for putting standing matches up on the box and flicking them off like a paper football, so they would light in the air.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he started a little fire like that and got in trouble for it. But
Shit.
he told me about it, and I was like, no way. So I
Kind of
went
a cool
home
way
and I
to
was
start a
like,
fire.
Fireball.
yeah, it is kind of a cool way to start a fire.
Fireball.
Fire.
So, he came home to a room that smelled like sulfur. Keep in mind, he lived with his stepdad, so this haunted house wasn't just his.
Oh, so this wasn't just his idea.
No.
The whole family was
Well,
on it.
no, it was his idea. Like, his stepdad lived there, and he was like, deal with it.
As long as you bring in the money.
Yeah, and it's entirely possible somebody else was in his room and maybe like blew out a match. But and how reliable is the power grid in the 40s, early 50s? Like, could the power have gone out while he was driving home? His dad was looking for something, went in the room to check, blew out the candle, and walked out.
True.
And then he came home 5 minutes later. The power grid's back up, and he opens the door. He's like, "It smells like sulfur in here. That means the Men in Black were here."
Must mean one thing.
Yeah, jump right to it. So Big Al walked into his room. He said he saw a bright light in the middle of the sulfur room. He turned on his light, so the power grid was back on. And the bright object just disappeared, gone, poof.
Oh, hell
Can't see it
no.
no more.
Made of cockroaches. That's my theory.
Just
Lights on. Boom, scatter.
bioluminescence from cockroaches, and you flip the lights on, and it scares them.
Yep.
Hey,
Albert checked his research files because this guy had his magazine, so he's doing all this stuff, but he's got all this research. People sending him accounts of UFOs and alien contact, and he's got these files, and he keeps them in his room. And he's, again, OCD, so he knows where everything is and where he left it. So he checked everything and looked to see if anything was missing. Didn't notice anything missing right away, so who knows what was exactly happening in there. He was in a movie one night and saw a man down at the end of the aisle squatting down and looking at him.
Oh, hell
And
nah.
the man's eyes were glowing.
Nah. Hell
So
no.
a man in a
Come on, Bob. It's just the reflective glow that animals have at night.
That's animals.
You know what's
dog.
funny is
I
we
know I
were
call
talking
myself
about our
a beast.
FYPs and like, everybody's is a little different. Mine is like there's a lot of horror content. So like, have you guys ever seen the ones where it like does the announcement? It's like, if you see someone identical to you, turn and run. And it's always like them doing something creepy. It's like that like
Yeah.
hits me in the same.
Oh, hell.
That same
way.
creep factor. Just a
Yeah.
guy squatting down in a suit and a trench coat, kind of.
Eyes glowing.
It reminds me of that movie,
In a
that
movie
Jordan
theater?
Peele movie.
He's been brought up a lot today.
Out.
Everything comes.
Get Out.
Oh, Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Sink.
Us.
No, Us.
Us.
Not Get Out.
Yeah.
Us.
The
that one.
Doppelganger.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not-
while he's sitting in the movie theater, Big Al looks, he sees the glowing eyes. He looks away. He's like, wait, what? And he looks again. Man's gone. Didn't get up and walk away. Didn't come down the aisle. Didn't drop down to all fours and charge him like a dog. Just,
We've already said it, demon.
yeah, just gone. Probably smelled like sulfur down there. Who knows?
Shit. Lit a match.
This was kind of a reoccurring thing for him. He started to see these guys everywhere, and the sight of them made him physically ill. He would see them and he would get so kind of scared that he would become sick. Yeah, if you're being followed like that and you're seeing people, like, I get how that would make you cringe and make you sick. In March of 1953, he was visited by 3 men in black suits and Homburg hats. They allegedly communicated with him telepathically. They told him to stop his research. Allegedly. They said he knew that he devoted a lot of his time and energy to his research, and it's done. You did a great job. You've put a lot of time and effort and energy into doing this, and you're done. You've reached the end of the road. This is as far as you go in this field.
Also, again, let me reiterate. You're done.
Yeah, I don't know how else to put
You're
this.
fired.
Yeah, you're finished. This is it.
Fuck.
They said, yeah, they knew he devoted a lot of time and energy to his research. It was that now that it's over, they gave him a metal disc, and he said he felt like he was being transported. Now, they didn't give a lot of details on this metal disc. They didn't say it's the size of a CD or it's a shot.
Like the end of Superman 2, they like put him in the pane of glass.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
they didn't.
Phantom Zone.
They didn't. There's not a lot of description about the metal disc, so I don't, or where he was transported to. Really, he just said he felt like he was being transported. He also said that they gave him information on the origins of and insights into UFOs.
Oh shit.
So, and like again, they're doing this telepathically. They're not talking to him. He's not
Yeah,
hearing
so
this
he
stuff.
remembers.
He's hearing them think this to him.
Fuck.
He said he wanted to share the information with other people in the UFO community. He told them, I've got to tell people about this. This is amazing. People need to hear this. And they said no.
We're about to cover you in whiskey and drop you near all of them, so you will seem like you don't know anything.
Marge, I caught the biggest fish you've ever seen, and then after that, right before I reeled it in, I was abducted by aliens. Sure you were, Rummy. So yeah, they took every copy of his magazine that they could find, like in the area there, and disappeared.
Oh shit.
When they
Theoretically, we could do Space Review too, because there's no longer any of those magazines.
right, it stopped in 1953. When these
Shit.
guys disappeared, they left behind a cloud of yellow sulfur. Just
That sounds like a fart.
right. Yeah, the guys just cut one and ran out of the
I think
room.
we've left behind a cloud of yellow sulfur once in our life. If you
So, question number 11.
I'm not gonna do that. Fuck that.
He was
As long as they're chill, I'm chill.
he was ill for a number of days after they took his magazines and disappeared into a cloud of sulfur. How long? It was a number of days, so I'll tell you that. It's not months, it's not years. Thank you.
it's not what it's called, but it's about that.
Yeah. Again, closest to the answer, 250, 500 if you nail it.
What's the question again? One more time.
He was ill for a number of days after they took his magazines and disappeared into a cloud of sulfur. How long was he ill for?
Damn it, Greg! Did you just end that sentence in a preposition?
So, sorry, sir. Those are the boys off in whose shed they were jacking in that. You are a government agent.
Want to go first?
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with 12 days, homie.
12 days.
7 days.
7 days. Jordan is going to get the points. He was closer.
Yes. You'll see why when you watch that too. That's what's kind of crazy.
Damn it,
That's
he
why-
knows too
No,
much.
I didn't know, but I just associated something I watched in that.
It's 250. You were the closest. For 3 days after his encounter,
That's my lucky
he was
fucking number.
he was too ill to eat, and he said he suffered from headaches consistently since then.
Jordan breaks 2,000.
Broke 2,000. All right.
He's at 2,000.
Yeah.
I can make it back.
So while
What question are we at?
that was question 11.
How many are multiple choice that are coming?
Rally Cat.
1, 2.
Yeah, no, Bobby, you can't. I don't believe you can.
I do not believe.
If I
Right?
stab
Let's see. Oh no, if you nail the last one, get both of the no.
Okay,
Even then you
what
would
if
get
I give him
17,
if I let
50.
him stab for 500 on the multiple choice?
Up to you. You're the host. You may do that.
Well, the rule book says you have final say. But what I s- and you're in the lead.
But I just deferred to you.
Okay, you're it. I'll leave it up to you.
I'll-
You're in the lead.
I
Hey, hold
welcome
on.
the challenge.
Oh shit! Now I feel like I'm getting a handicap. Now
I
feel
mean,
like
you
my
are.
arm-
Yeah.
But
You
it's,
know what? For viewing purposes, let's go for it.
Let's go for
Do
it.
it.
Okay. So if you want,
Okay.
when we have multiple choice questions, you can stab before I give the answers.
Yes.
Now, once I give the answers,
I can't stab.
you can't change your answer.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. So yes, he was ill for 3 days after his encounter, suffered from headaches since then, and everybody he talked to mentioned that he was afraid of something. He was spooked. He was anxious. He was always looking over his shoulder. He was scared.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He published the last issue of Space Review and said, quote, "The mystery of flying saucers is no longer a mystery. The source is already known, but any information about this is being withheld by a higher source." End quote. Keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is happening and kind of originated during the height of McCarthyism and like the Red Scare. Are you familiar with that?
Russia and
Yeah, the Reds under the bed and all that. So in the 50s,
Pretty much like if you've seen Red Dawn, you're up to date.
oh yeah, the Chris Hemsworth one or the
No, it's not even that really. It's more that the idea of communism and Russian takeover is going to seep into America. So he had people calling on their neighbors, on their family members.
Yeah, okay,
like
yeah.
if somebody was like, maybe I'll give a little extra to the homeless this month. People were calling and being like, communist.
He's like, I think I might vote Democrat.
Communist.
Oh, hell no.
This person took my parking spot. Communist. And
Oh, Jim, day's nice, huh? Communist.
Yep.
pretty much.
Damn.
It's a similar thing where people were so afraid of the idea of communism. If you were acting weird, you were being labeled. The Department of Homeland Security was called.
Oh, shit.
Like and in this case, it was the FBI that was called.
How many FBI's went to black homes? That's what
Tons.
I want to know. I can
Absolutely.
only imagine.
I mean, Martin Luther King was harassed constantly, and people were calling him a communist and stuff like that. Consistently stuff. Malcolm X, same thing. A lot of the civil rights leaders, this was used against them. A lot of pretty much anybody who tried to dissent and question the status quo in this time was labeled a communist. But they had like they had names for it. They called it McCarthyism because Senator Joe McCarthy was the one spearheading all this. Also, keep in mind this was after the Roswell crash. When he was contacted about his writings on UFOs. So this, UFOs were kind of a widely known thing when he's doing his magazine.
Yeah. That's why it was probably so popular.
Yeah. One of the Roswell theories, again, wasn't that it was actually a UFO, but that it was an ICBM or intercontinental ballistic missile or a drone. And instead of incendiary or nuclear payload inside, it had Cyrillic writing, and the aliens that were discovered were actually surgically mutilated patients from a Russian mental hospital.
Yeah.
And it was allegedly done to kind of spark a whole War of the Worlds style thing,
Right.
Where it was to scare everybody, and UFOs are real, and it was part of a deal struck by Mengele and Stalin, where he was going to do these surgeries and they were going to build this rocket, and they basically flew over to the coast of Alaska and launched it towards our nuclear test facilities in the middle of the desert, and it crashed in New Mexico, and we panicked. And now I do podcasts like this.
Damn, timelines.
They were really just missiles.
Butterfly effect. Well, and so the guy, there's a book called Area 51 by Annie Jacobson. And if you're into stuff like this, it's a very cool book. It's mostly talking about the CIA test flights and the planes and stuff that are out there. Very little talk about little green men. But they do talk about the Roswell crash and what was done as a result, and how some of the wreckage went to Area 51, some of it to Wright-Patterson and stuff like that. And there's a guy who worked for the Atomic Energy Commission that's interviewed at the end of that book. He's the one I was talking about earlier. And he doesn't give his name, but he says that he was involved in the recovery of the pilots from the Roswell crash, and that they were just people. They were surgically mutilated people, not aliens. And
I mean, both of them are.
But he died shortly after he gave that statement and stayed anonymous. So who knows?
They always do.
Right?
He killed himself.
When this was published, Bender, when he published his last,
Shut up, baby. I know it.
not episode, what's the word? Issue. When he published his last issue, Bender was contacted by a man named Gray Barker, who wrote a book. Question number 12. What was the name of Gray Barker's book?
Damn it.
Bobby.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's it.
How many?
Come on.
Bobby has 250.
Yeah.
So, and Jordan's at 2,000.
Correct.
So you cannot stab at this one. Hopefully get it right. That'll put you at 500.
Yeah.
And then
Stab at the neck and go for it.
and then just go full send on
and
the
then
next
you need
two.
to stab and then nail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't stab here because you're never gonna get this. It's not
Yeah,
even possible.
yeah.
Just get it right.
Yeah.
But just know if you don't get it right, it's over.
Let's go to the multi.
Okay. Question number 12. What was the name of Gray Barker's book? Was it A, They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers? B, They knew too little about flying saucers.
Whoa.
C. Can you skip a UFO like a stone?
Or D. They knew just the right amount.
Or
about
D.
flying saucers.
They're trying to silence me about UFOs. They knew too much about flying saucers. They knew too little about flying saucers. Can you skip a UFO like a stone? Or they're trying to silence me about UFOs.
See, I'm glad I didn't stab because I was
If
thinking,
I put it on a book cover, they can't silence me anymore.
That's the loudest part of the book.
dude, I was gonna stab and be like, a time reveals too much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, hey,
You know what
I
I mean?
mean,
But
it would have been a wrong guess, but it would have been a good guess.
Great title. Bad guess.
You guys got your answers?
Got it.
All right, what do you got?
I went with the no, it was A.
They knew too much about flying saucers.
I went with D.
You went with D. They're trying to silence me about UFOs. Bobby, I am sorry to tell you, you have been eliminated.
No.
The answer was they knew too much about flying saucers.
Is that a Jordan correct answer?
That
Did
is
you know?
Jordan's correct
I did
answer.
not know.
Did you know?
I did not know. I swear.
He's like, I've read it.
I did not know too much about flying saucers. I promise.
It's in my Audible library.
I'm gonna look at his phone. Bro,
That's the last article I read before I came.
it's
So
2022.
this guy, Gray Barker, he seems like a real piece of shit, if I'm being honest. He's not trustworthy, but he wrote these books and presumably coined the term Men in Black. Like, he's the first time that it appeared for publication. But again, he seems a lot like, in his day, he would be what Alex Jones is today, where he's just a huge disinformation agent. He shouts a bunch
A
of...
wreck?
Yeah, a broke, fat,
What are you talking about?
red, shirtless, yelling wreck.
Come hear us.
Yeah. I fucking hate Alex Jones so much. But this guy is, and I mean, you'll see, this guy is kind of an Alex Jones type where he would put out a bunch of bad information and then a little bit of good information to keep credibility.
Shit.
And he would crank call people and pretend to be the Men in Black just to make them paranoid. And I mean, I gotta be honest. Conspiracy nerds are easy to like make.
Now
paranoid.
I know what I'm gonna do to you later.
That's what I'm saying. We're easy to make paranoid. It takes nothing to make a conspiracy nerd be like, "Oh,
Greg.
dude, they're watching me."
Greg, what's your favorite FOIA document?
Anything from the Stargate series or Grill Flame. Big fan.
I like Stargate. the
Stargate
original.
SG-1, bro.
Oh, it was great.
Dude.
So yeah, he would
Loved it.
crank
Landed
call.
Not the same one.
He would crank call these people
No.
and get them all freaked out.
Oh shit.
The Men in Black themselves are known for using a variety of tactics to intimidate and subvert people who have credible UFO sightings or alien contact. So there's been other reports. Those are just some of the more famous ones, but there's been other reports of contact with the Men in Black, and it's hardly ever positive. But I feel like if you're reporting it, you know why it wasn't a positive experience. You know. We've mentioned the phone calls. They would often call and either not say anything or say nonsense in an attempt to both confuse and discredit the targeted individual. Literally gibberish. You answer your phone and they would just go and then hang up, and you're like, what? And so your wife says, who was that? And you say, I don't know. It was just gibberish. And
she says, what's her name, Thomas?
I mean,
I told you her name was gibberish.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's Greek.
Must be Italian.
But yeah, they use this stuff to like confuse and discredit the targeted individual. And I say targeted individual because that's how they refer to the victims of gang stalking. And that's definitely what the Men in Black do. We've talked about,
Yeah.
We've discussed gang stalking. Are you familiar with that?
Gang stalking?
Gang stalking.
Like people, is it self-explanatory?
It's public theater. It's manufactured
okay.
schizophrenia.
Got it.
So the example that I heard that makes the most sense to me is, imagine walking through a supermarket. You're just there to do your grocery shopping for the week, and you're putting stuff in your cart, and you notice a person at the end of the aisle, and they're looking at you. And you're like, that's weird. And they look away when you look. They do and keep walking. And you go around the next aisle, and there's another person. They're looking at you.
Oh,
and,
I see. Yeah.
And every person you interact with in your day-to-day life is not just a person living their own life. They are put there specifically to guide you and direct you through the day the way that they want you to go. And
The Adjustment Bureau.
and then there's like that's called public theater. And then there's other aspects of it where, again, they try to discredit you and make you sound crazy. You get up for work one morning and you open your front door and there's a styrofoam coffee cup sitting on your front porch. And you're like, what? So you take it, you throw it in the trash. And this happens for days and days and days. And finally, you're like, I'm going to get up extra early and see who's leaving this coffee cup on my porch. And you sit there and you're waiting. And you're looking, and nobody shows up to put a coffee cup on your porch. And you're like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm going to work. And you open your door and there's a coffee cup sitting on top of your car. That kind of like... And then you're telling people about this. Dude, for weeks, there's been a coffee cup on my front porch. And this morning, it was on my car. And they're like, probably somebody walking their dog in the morning set their coffee cup. But you're like, no, it's more than that. And you're trying to explain that this coffee cup is more than that. Yeah. And nobody believes you. And you sound insane. So when you start talking about, well, I saw a UFO the other day, you sound insane.
Makes sense.
Remember the coffee cup thing?
Yeah.
So, the gang stalking actually, it works. I mean, it's
not scary as fuck.
It is, and
it's just fucked
for
up.
another real life example, the Church of Scientology does it big time.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they'll go as far as like protesting you in your neighborhood, putting up signs that says this person's a liar, this person's a thief, this person's whatever around your neighborhood, around your place of business, not inside, but on the buildings next to it, so the people walking in are gonna see it. You know what I mean? Like. They go the extra mile to do stuff like that.
Up, man.
And it's how they're able to control and manipulate their victims.
That's why Tom Cruise hasn't left, man. They got
that,
him.
and he's about as high. He knows where David Miscavige is.
He's keeping David Miscavige, I think, in his
he knows where Shelley Miscavige is. That's why.
But does he know where Shelley is?
Yeah,
Shelley.
He put her in Katie Holmes' cage.
Oh my god.
Take it over.
It's not being used anymore.
Look at the timeline; it checks out.
It's not being used. Welcome.
So these guys, again, follow you around in public and manufacture events in your life. They also will do like super obvious surveillance where they'll sit across from your house and take photos to be obvious. So that you're like, hey, man, there's people taking photos of me.
There's a very famous gang stalking incident that took place in Fresno.
No, I know the guy.
John Lang.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and like his videos are
I don't know that, but I've heard.
Yeah, his videos are still up on YouTube. Dr. Herbert Hopkins, he was consulted on a UFO case in Maine, and he was contacted because of his involvement in the case. The person claimed to be from the UFO community and asked if they could meet Hopkins, and he agreed. The man showed up at his house within minutes. This question number 13. This was before cell phone technology was widely available. What year did this man call and then show up at his house? Within minutes. He kind of lived out in the country, so it's not like they were at a payphone. This wasn't like a...
Going to the country, gonna make a lot of phone calls.
All right.
Got your answer?
Yeah, fuck, I'm going out of the bank.
I would love to see you just turn it on right now and like get close.
All right.
Got your answers?
Got it.
All right, what do you got?
1973.
1973.
1952.
1952. Give Bobby 250 points. This was in 1976.
Damn it.
Yeah,
So
when you
close,
said 1973, I was like, shit,
Maybe
he
I'll
did
lie
it.
for him.
Yeah.
But it's
Shit.
yeah.
3 off, man.
Um,
Weird, because I love 3.
cell phones had been first used in the private sector 3 years before that, so cell phone technology did exist, but it wasn't prevalent. Like
Yeah. So home phones, man. You're at a home phone. You're like, oh, shit.
yeah, the first 1G network wasn't established until 3 years after this.
Oh, shit.
I also feel it's important to point out the private sector thing because the military has stuff long before the public will ever see it. We were talking about that.
Yep.
Like there's like a 30-year gap there. They'll find new inventions, determine its military worth, and then release it to the public once its strategic value drops below the cost to keep it.
I don't believe you.
Classic government, man.
I think they give it right to us to like make like that's how we become a better country, right?
Right.
Cool,
I like your logic and I like your facts.
So,
I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
yeah, and that's just a classic government move. These MIB, they've been alleged to be government agents. They've been alleged to be cryptids. They've been alleged to be from a different dimension. So, who knows really?
What if they're cryptids from another dimension?
It could be. These guys, when they showed up at Hopkins' house, they made his dog really uncomfortable, is what he said. Now, I'll speak as a guy who has 2 little dogs. Like, if they're not comfortable with somebody coming into my house, I probably don't want that person in my house. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty chill little dudes.
Yeah.
One of them wiggles and he's really excited, and the other one wants to jump on you. And if they're growling, barking, like aggressive,
Put it this way, they let me in there, so
right? They let the likes of him in. If they don't like somebody, I'm gonna maybe take a second guess. So these guys made his dog really uncomfortable.
Shit.
I get it. I wouldn't have let him in. He said against his better judgment, he let him in. Also, I mean, I could see how you'd feel a little intimidated, kind of pressured. Like people feel like they have to let the police in when they come to their house.
No,
you don't.
Not me.
Know your rights. You don't.
I'll crack the door open a little bit. What's up, man? What'd you get?
Yeah, like
Where's your warrant?
I got a ring
yeah.
doorbell specifically so I don't have to do it. So I could be like, no, I'm not home. Well, we see your car in the driveway. That's not my car.
that ain't me though.
That's not my driveway. What are you talking about?
Can you prove they're even talking to a person right now?
Yeah. Start using the
Are you a bot?
the speak and say error. So yeah, Hopkins said against his better judgment, he let them in the house. He said the guy was wearing a black suit and hat, sunglasses and shoes with gray gloves. The man had no hair, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, was very pale and plasticky. He said closer to a corpse when describing the guy's complexion. Kind of waxy almost.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. He said the guy also had the guy that showed up had bright red lips.
Is it Herbert Hoover?
What's that?
Was it Hoover?
No, no. But he said he had bright red lips, and he kept touching the back of his lips, or with the lips with the back of his fingers. He kept,
Pushing him up.
That's what he thought until he smeared, and they weren't lips; they were painted on. It was lipstick, and the guy didn't have lips. He had like a hole with lips painted around it. So it wasn't like
Sounds erotic.
a little bit. This guy didn't even have to pay to get there. This guy didn't have any lips. He had a hole with lips painted on, which smeared when he touched it with his glove hand. He questioned Hopkins about the case and then instructed him to get rid of all the files he had accumulated or surrounding the case.
Jack Webb was Dragnet.
Jack Webb. There you go. According to, quote, the night sky, end quote, the man in black informed Hopkins that there were 2 coins in Hopkins' pocket, which was correct. He asked him to remove one. Hopkins complied and held the coin, a shiny new penny, in the palm of his hand. The man in black told Hopkins to watch the coin closely. After a few moments, the coin took on a silvery appearance and then appeared to be going out of focus. It then began to fade and eventually disappeared altogether. The man in black informed Hopkins that the coin would never be seen on this plane again. He then inquired as to whether Hopkins was familiar with the alleged UFO abductee Barney Hill. Hopkins replied that he'd heard of Hill but was under the impression that he died in the not-too-distant past. The man in black informed Hopkins that this was correct, but Barney didn't have a heart, said the man in black. He said, just like you no longer have a coin. It should be noted that, the man in black then gently suggested that Hopkins destroy any material that he had related to the UFO case. So he made the coin disappear from his hand. Said, "You know that guy that died? He doesn't have a heart. Like you're out money now."
Damn.
So question number 14, the final question: what was the official cause of death for Barney Hill? Was it A, no heart? B,
It's just gone, baby.
what happened? I don't know.
I'll take your heart out.
B, heart attack. C, a hemorrhage. Or D, a stroke.
All right.
Got your answers?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I said stroke.
Said stroke?
Heart attack.
Heart attack. Barney Hill died of a hemorrhage.
Oh.
So his heart was still in his body, in this dimension, on this plane.
Fucking lying ass alien.
What
Right?
the fuck?
But the guy still made the coin disappear.
He's just a magician.
Sounds
that's
like
all.
some close-up magic.
He was just a
that's also
magician.
that's the official cause of death.
Sleight
So
of
you know,
hand,
He
baby.
said.
we'll say
He
that
now works at the Magic
It's all
Castle.
Chris Angel. This is like,
that I will say that was the official cause of death. It
Right.
wasn't like
oh, what they masked
that's
it.
what's on the autopsy. It's not maybe
I
necessarily
thought maybe
what
they're
was
like
there.
a stroke. He had a stroke so hard that it imploded his heart in like a black hole and disappeared.
That'd be wild.
Just sucks himself up.
So I got a little bit more for you. Jack Robinson and his wife Mary. Jack was a UFO researcher, and on occasion when he would come home, they would find their house had been rummaged through. Things were misplaced or missing altogether. UFO files, things like that. Mary began to notice a man staring up from a doorway across the street. He was wearing a black suit, a black coat, black shoes, and black hat. For all my Rancid fans out there, the boy's a time bomb. Man spent so much time there, he stood out so blatantly that Mary was able to call a friend named Tom Green Beckley to come over and see. Tom snapped a photo of the man, and that means the guy was there long enough to be discovered, spook the lady, and then have her call her friend, and him show up with a camera ready to deal with this. Is this proof of harassment? Not really. He's not even looking at the camera. It's not really proof of anything other than a guy in a black hat and coat in the 70s potentially loitering and maybe being a perv. Yeah. Trying to like peek in her window.
There was a lot of those back then, too.
Yeah, lots of pervs.
It's a lot more acceptable.
It was a different time.
A seeker, a peeker.
But yeah, that's an actual photo of a man in black, allegedly. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have on the actual Men in Black. If you want, I have a little section carved out for the movie if you're interested. But it's stuff we already talked about. Like they look like a bunch of super cool badasses with high tech weapons, like an intergalactic security team. But that's not it.
No, they just bully motherfuckers every day.
Pretty much. They make prank phone calls.
They don't have a noisy cricket that
they do prank phone calls and close up magic to intimidate people.
They're like a mix between like David Blaine and the Beastie Boy or the Jerky Boys.
Yeah, I like that you confused the Beastie Boys and the Jerky Boys.
Yeah, it was just boys. It was just a boys thing.
Well, I mean, in the movie too, they kind of like every time they go to someone, they're never really happy to see them. They're like, "Oh shit!" Like I'm here to get my ass beat. And when they do negotiate, he was blowing that motherfucker's head off and shit. Like,
fun fact: the little alien roach guys are speaking the same language as Jabba the Hutt.
What?
Oh, are they Hutts?
I don't know. I just read like
just
somebody
from the
said
same
that
planet.
They speak the same language that Jabba the Hutt speaks.
You're speaking English? No, we're speaking our language,
you
but by
can
some
double check that.
astronomical
I'm wrong a lot, but I know that I wouldn't just make that up. Somebody for sure would have.
What was the?
Facts
You
check
speak
'em.
English?
Discord.
No, this is our language, but by an astronomical coincidence, they're the exact same.
Or the Family Guy. Do you speak English? No, it was like no, just that sentence and this one explaining that. He's like, really?
Okay.
Oh, Family Guy. Love it.
So yeah, in the movie they recruit Will Smith. In reality, these people like this probably don't recruit.
Yeah.
You know,
I said NYPD means I will knock your punk ass down. That's why they recruited.
Got
It was
him
that line.
up on the wall.
Damn, that was cool. We don't have catchphrases like that.
Yeah,
It's
but
called Assault now?
if these guys aren't from this dimension, they're probably not recruiting. They're probably not going to be like, "Yo, this guy can run
From
fast."
here, yeah.
This guy looks like an action hero.
Yeah.
Let's make him a Men in Black.
He did save, Earth once, so.
Do it again.
In the movie, they all have kind of a personality of their own. Everyone's a character. In reality, these guys more or less have had a personality bypass. They just...
Lobotomy's just...
I mean, they act, again, like they don't know how people...
Are they like without, or are they like hive-mindy? Like
It seems very hive-mindy, where one thought is shared between everyone. It's... We're here to make sure that you stop talking about this, because if you start talking about this, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And they're going to happen for us, which means we're going to make them happen for you to keep you from talking about them. And I don't know what those bad things are. I really don't. There's a lot of like cool theories that like the Men in Black work for the Greys, and the Greys work for the Reptilians, and there's like a whole hierarchy, and like
And in turn, the reptilians work for us.
what a twist. So yeah, these guys, again, bald, no eyelashes, no eyebrows, no real facial features, no lips, but wear lipstick. Lack of
half the
personality.
girls I know.
Like-
They need some help, boys.
Yeah.
They need a
Again,
makeover.
that's pretty much all I have. Do you guys have any questions about the Men in Black? Anything?
I think I don't need to know anymore. I don't have any more questions.
You a little
deeper into
spooked by
that.
it?
I just don't want people showing my house. You know what I'm saying? Not yet.
Don't have any credible UFO sightings. Like if you see a UFO, keep it to yourself.
Or
tell me.
Trust me, I have really.
Or tell me. I'll keep your anonymity. and I'll deal with the Men in Black.
Hell no, you were naming out names like it was fucking.
Yeah, because these guys are trying to keep the secret.
Attendance list.
If I'm the one trying to keep the secret, I'll keep my sources to myself.
They'll kill him first. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
I'll die with that shit.
He's prepared to die, Bobby.
Why would I tell them? Why would I tell them you? They'd be like, "Tell us who knows about the UFOs," and I'd be like, "Why? He's more scared of you than I am."
Where are the UFOs?
Yeah. So, any questions? Anything? You wanna-
No, you know what? I learned a lot about the Men in Black. It wasn't
I
just
hope
a
so.
movie. And I think it's very interesting that that they could be cryptids more so than actual people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's so the Bigfoot being a cryptid and like
Yeah.
being blurry and out of focus. If
Sound resonance. Yeah.
well, if he's going in and out of focus, maybe he's going in and out of this dimension, and then like the coin.
Crazy, bro. What the?
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the show. I hope you guys had fun.
Hell yeah.
Thank you
you
for
had
having me.
fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you for
I
Bobby
lost.
for
I
making
lost,
me look good.
But you know what? I'm gonna do it with honor, and you killed that shit.
You know
There you
what?
go.
I appreciate it, man.
I can't be
It
mad
helps
for
know
you
a little
having
bit about
knowledge.
paranormal
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
No,
I
no
can't be
fights
mad
in the
about that.
handshake
You know
line.
what
I
I'm
like
saying?
it.
You know what? Hey, dude,
I still love you,
I want you to come back on a serial killer one though.
Jesse, was it everything you hoped it was going to be when I told you I had something more than just Men in Black?
Yo, dog, I was over here enthralled. Did you see me? I was just vibing most of the time.
Oh shit. Oh shit. You're like
He's still
ridiculous
vibing.
for this.
That's where it's at, though.
I was just listening in and getting a little sweat down the back of my neck. It's kind of warm in here.
Little bit. All right. Well, thank you for coming in. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok at Serial Chillers Podcast, YouTube at Serial Chillers Podcast, Threadless store, serialchillerspodcast.threadless.com, the new sticker store on serialchillerspod.com. Visit patreon.com/serialchillerspodcast. Help us get spaceforspace.com by donating. What was it? $3,200? $3,700. So we're a fraction of the way there.
You can just send that to P.O. Box 1229, Clovis, California 93613.
Yep. You can visit serialchillerspod.com. If you're into this, you can go to lonelyfans with 2z's.com. Join the Discord. There's a lot of fun people there. It's like a Facebook group, but like better.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like we've explained it enough.
clearance.
Just get in there, everybody.
Yeah, get on Patreon, get your show memorabilia. You'll
Yes.
get all the answers from this episode potentially and others. So, yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to throw in there, anything you want to plug,
The last thing I wanted to plug
Do it.
at the end of it, guys, I have just finally made my Shopify account and online store for Baka Baka. It's now finally out. You can go on one of my social medias at __B3R_, and it's a link directly to it. Just click on the Baka Baka picture and you're there. We have like 32 products out right now, from mixtures of apparel and accessories. So I mean, you can get like a beach towel, my guy, and it's all about anime and Japanese culture and just the vibe of it all. It's getting bigger and better every day because I'm working really hard on it. It really supports me and my way of life, and I just hope you guys check it out. At least you don't have to buy anything, just check it out.
What does Baka Baka mean?
Baka Baka, actually, this is the story behind it. You can see the story at the bottom of the website, but I'll tell you a quick little story of it. Baka Baka means fool or idiot in Japanese. It is widely used in day-to-day life, especially in like the younger, actually all the whole culture, just to kind of like, sometimes it's a light joke. Sometimes it's they put it part of a name, to kind of like mess with the other person.
I was say, is it something that you would call your friend rather than something you would use out of anger?
But there are, versions of it, I'm saying, where it is used, to widely bully someone. And as growing up, I was actually been told a lot that I was a Baka Baka for my close, like, I guess you could say, people growing up with my dreams and aspirations. And I decided one day, and I wanted to make this company, that I wanted to kind of like own it. So I owned it. I said, okay, you can tell me whatever you want in front of me. And that's what my first shirt design was. It says Baka Baka right here. So you can say whatever you want to me. Right in front
Own
of me.
it. Wear it on
when
your
you
chest.
see me walk away, you're going to find a legend. And that's what the kanji with legend in one of my first designs. And that's what was my run. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bring your tea.
Yeah. It said Densetsu. And that means legend in Japanese. And it really shows you like, hey, like I'll take whatever you can, you throw at me, but just wait when you're, on the other side and I'm walking away, it's success.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's Baka Baka apparel. It's for, just check it out. Thank you.
Check
Dope
it
material,
out.
man.
Thank you.
And check me out. We're called Hero Alliance. We do character entertainment. We have some awesome characters. Check us out on Instagram if you like characters, cosplay, that kind of stuff. We do some pretty amazing things. TheHeroAlliance.com, _Hero_Alliance on Instagram. And check us out if you're in the Central Valley. We're also at River Park Farmers Market on Tuesdays and all over the place. It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me out. We had a blast.
Problem. Thanks for being here. This
Seriously,
was fun.
This is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Jesse?
No, great job, Greg.
Thanks,
you for
man.
bringing cool episodes. We put a lot of time in here tonight.
Did we?
There's only 6 more episodes this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
We are closing in on the back end of it.
Yeah. So after this one, six more
to
remain.
go.
Yep. And if all works out, Greg knows about this a little bit. We got a pretty cool idea for season finale. So, slight tease.
Shit.
If it doesn't work out, you got a regular episode anyway. So
Yeah, if nothing else, you'll get a regular episode, but we have something cool planned.
Oh shit.
They're bringing
It's
in
me
Bob
and Mama
Lazar.
Shy.
Oh, God, I wish. So nothing from you? That's
Come
it?
on, man.
me?
Yeah.
Throw a little
it,
something.
man.
I don't know,
We
man.
got
It's-
6 episodes left. Thank you guys for hanging out so far this season. Thanks, Jordan and Bobby, for being here.
Yeah.
Greg, you did great. And
call me Jesse on
fuck,
Twitch.
man, no. Do the line. Do the line.
Do the come back or we'll kill you. Oh, wait.
That's for the break, man.
No,
Come on.
don't
man.
talk to strangers.
Come on. Bruh.
Do it again. I was talking.
Come back or we'll kill you.
No. He's been blinking.
It's the whole thing's wrong. Don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Face
You're
like
letting me be myself.
We did it. When the credits roll up and then the background.